What's going on, guys? See Robbie Rob here. What's going on, guys? See Robbie Rob.
What is going on, guys? See Robbie Rob here. Today we are going to be going over the most optimal way to train with calisthenics. And with calisthenics in particular, guys, I feel like it can get kind of confusing. The ultimate fitness goal is to get to where you want to be as quickly as possible, right? Now, before we even get into this video, I think it's really important for you guys to know and understand that the perfect scenario where you train the most optimally all the time at peak performance and do everything right, guys, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it doesn't exist, okay? You gotta let go of this idea that, listen, there is always a better way. A better way always exists. It doesn't matter if you work with the top trainer. It doesn't matter if you do everything, you have it penciled and written down and everything. There's still room for error, okay? We are all human. That being said, having a coach and trainer can help in a certain circumstance, as can just doing it yourself and learning through your own journey. Everything still has a place. That doesn't mean you should just give up all hope, okay? But when it comes to calisthenics, guys, I'm going to teach you the most optimal way to train, to set up your training so that you can actually get the results that you're looking for and not feel like you're just wasting time. And here's that PR I was telling you guys about, straight arm L-sit handstand press. I was almost confused. I was like, wait, did I just do that? So I did it a couple more times. What's the most optimal way to train? The truth is that the most optimal way to train starts with clearly defining your goals, okay? Everybody is different. You're going to have to learn and focus on what you're trying to accomplish and then build some structure around that so that you can actually get those results, right? That is the first step. Define your goals. Super simple, super easy. Now, the second key to you guys making the most optimal training with your calisthenics is going to be having a structured routine and doing progressive overload with your exercises, okay? It sounds so simple, right? But oftentimes we just get in this mode where we just want to do what we feel. And that's great, but you're not ultimately going to make the most results if you're just showing up and doing like whatever you want and feel like for the day. The truth is you need to be able to measure and track your progress so that you can tell you're actually making the progress that you want to. But see, Robbie Rob, I don't know how to do that. Well, here's something you guys can start doing right now to track your progress, okay? If you're working towards a pull-up and you can only do, let's say, 1 or 2 pull-ups, instead of just doing 1 or 2 pull-ups every once in a while here and there and thinking you're magically going to get your pull-up, we need to work on single arm rows for sets and reps. We need to match the reps on both sides. And then we also need to do an exercise like pull-up negatives or chin-up negatives or band-assisted chin-ups for sets and reps, okay? So let's say we do 3 sets with 8 reps. Now what we're going to want to do is the next workout, we're going to want to do either more reps, less rest time in between those reps, or we're going to increase the sets, or eventually we'll work our way to a harder exercise. But I think it's super important when you're trying to make optimal training, do the proper progressions, guys. Focus on clean reps and sets first before moving on to the harder progressions. Now, the next thing we're going to be going over is rest time and how to take proper rest time so that you can actually have an optimal training session. Guys, to put in perspective, I don't think calisthenics gets enough credit. If you're doing skills training, you need to understand that it is so taxing on your central nervous system, okay? That means that you really need to be resting appropriately so that your CNS takes a lot longer to catch up. So I would say if you're doing hard skills training, then you need to take at least 3 minutes rest. Ideally, 3 to 5 minutes would be ideal. If you're doing muscle hypertrophy movements, kind of like this one shown here, then you guys can take anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes rest time, depending on how hard the exercise actually is. I made this one super hard on purpose, so you guys know I took a lot longer rest time with this. Now, if you guys are just doing some cardio workout or a lower intensity workout, you can take less rest time, okay? But like I said, calisthenics is very taxing. A lot of these movements are compound movements. You need to be taking more rest than not. In between your splits, how much rest days should you take? Well, it really depends on your volume and your intensity during your workouts. But I would say, honestly, to maximize your results, 3 to 4 times a week of higher intensity, higher volume training sessions will ultimately yield more results if you utilize the workouts properly. And the last thing we're going to go over for the most optimal training is how often you should be training. Now, if you guys are a freak like me, then you know you want to be in the gym and like doing exercises and workouts 6 to 7 days a week. That's awesome, but it's definitely a lot. So you guys really need to utilize proper recovery, proper rest on the days off that you take. Something I have been absolutely horrible about in the past with myself. I'm learning now to take much more rest time, but in the past I was awful at this. You guys need to utilize your rest days, okay? It's super, super, super important. If you're not resting, your muscles are not recovering properly, your CNS isn't recovering properly, and ultimately your workouts are going to be way worse than they would be if you just took that extra rest day. Like I was saying earlier, depending on your volume and intensity, that will determine how much you should rest. I think 2 days of rest at least a week is ideal. Depending on your workout split, your volume, your intensity, 3 days of rest, 4 days of rest can even be the most optimal sometimes. So really understand how much you're training, the muscle groups that you're working, how often you're working them. And guys, listen to your body. At the end of the day, your body is always going to tell you when you're overdoing it. So just listen to your body. Take the rest when you need it. I promise you are not losing your gains in a day, a week, even a month sometimes. I remember being injured for multiple months and still doing some spotty training here and there and still holding most of my muscle mass, okay? It doesn't really degrade like that quickly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been cory, and this has been the most optimal training for calisthenics. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys on the next video.